Hey, everybody, it's Christina Louise. Thank you so much for joining us for Flourish 2019. Today, I'm presenting you with my dear friend, Amanda, who has an amazing story to share and a lot of wealth of information. We're going to be talking today about how to leave a legacy of prosperity and happiness for yourself, for your kids, and your kids. Welcome, Amanda. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me again. This is such fun. I always enjoy working with you on your shows and just empowering as many families as we can. So thank you for everything you do.
Yeah, you're welcome, and thank you. I know you have a long history of working with people all over the world in your own family, creating wealth, prosperity, happiness, and it's like easier and way more fun than they think, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it really is. We have this idea that, money is hard. Money is really hard to get and really hard to come by, and you have to work hard. So, it's time we start changing that.
I agree. So tell us about how this all started for you. Just briefly, catch the viewers up. How did you get into this?
Well, goodness, it's almost like it's over 10 years now. Can you believe that? Oh my gosh, time really does fly. Yeah, because when I started this, my kids were little and I was homeschooling them. And I realized that the best way to bring lessons across to our kids is by using storytelling, because then you take the pressure off. You're not just preaching something and saying, you have to do this thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, Christina, but I hate being told what to do. But if I can learn through a storyline and go, oh my gosh, that character should have done this, or wow, oh no, don't do that, right? And then you actually learn the principles without having to, be told what to do. And so I got this idea about 10 years ago, which funnily enough, I've not actually gone to. It's amazing how life changes. But you remember when you were younger, we had those choose your own adventure stories? And I thought, wouldn't it be really cool to write a choose your own adventure story where we teach money and life skills by showing kids the choices so they get to lead? And I thought, this is great. And so I started looking into building one of these and finding co-authors to help me, because I had no idea what I was doing other than my experience with teaching my own kids. And I had spent many years in elementary schools and high schools teaching, so I did have a lot of experience with that. And so I still do not have the choose your own adventure story. Instead, it took this other wild tangent, and I have over 30 different books now, all stories around different money topics and life skills. But that's how it came together, because as yourself, I'm also a very passionate entrepreneur. I don't know if you can tell my passion. And I want to teach our kids and our teenagers and their parents and their grandparents that we can take our natural talents and passions and create recurring passive income out of it. And so I thought, I'm going to do this. And so I merged the two together, that desire to empower our kids and to teach them those entrepreneurial skills. So I've just been amazed. And one day I might go back to the choose your own adventure, but maybe using YouTube and choose a different video.
Oh, interesting. So I love that. So it's I was actually listening to something on the radio earlier today, and I just caught the tail end of it. And what the woman said was, the thing that'll shoot you in the foot every time when you're talking about finding your purpose and making a difference in your life and in the lives of others, or doing something that you consider big and different than what you're used to doing. She said, everybody shoots themselves in the foot when they start asking how. How is that ever going to happen? And basically, when we say, how is that ever going to happen? Really, we're saying that can't ever happen. So we never actually get started. So I love your story of, I had this one idea. I had no idea how to go about it, but I took a step, and then I took a step, and then I took a step, and it took me in a completely different direction that you're happy with.
It's amazing. And then suddenly, you get that phone call in the morning, and it's Radio Disney saying, could we interview you? And you're like, this happened? Right? And now it's been years since that happened, which was amazing. Yeah. But it's wow, people actually really appreciate this. The same, I'm a mom too. I want my kids to grow up fully capable to take care of themselves financially, but actually enjoy their life at the same time and not have to struggle to pay the bills doing something they hate, which way too many of us get stuck into, right? And just so that our viewers here understand, this is just a salt inhaler. I'm a lung patient, so every once in a while I just need to clear my lungs. So we'll talk
about that for just a moment, because I thought that was it. Are you comfortable with that?
Absolutely. It actually is the catalyst of what got me to continue doing what I'm doing. So just over 3 years ago, I got struck with pneumonia in one lung. Went to the hospital. They gave, I said, I don't feel quite right. You know, maybe I need an infusion or something. I just felt I needed help. And I'd actually gone to my doctor asking for, when I don't get enough oxygen to my body, I do find it a little harder to think, so I might pause. But I asked for something. I said, I need some sort of medicine to help me through this. And my doctor was kind of shocked because I never ask for medicine for anything. I always like just doing clean, natural ways, which is why I use my salt inhaler instead of a Ventolin inhaler.
Right.
But he was like, I don't hear anything in your lungs. No, you should be fine. I don't think the antibiotics will do anything. And I'm like, I need help. I knew I needed help. And so he's like, well, I'll prescribe you something. So 2 days later, I was just getting worse and worse. And so my partner, she took me to the hospital, and we're like, this is like something's going on. So they took a quick x-ray, and yeah, I developed pneumonia in my left lung. And they're like, okay, well, we'll take, you know, you're doing the antibiotics, let's finish those, and we'll send you home. Another day went by, and I felt like I was going to just pass out. Like I didn't even want to go to the hospital because I didn't think I could sit in a chair and wait in the waiting room.
Yeah.
So my wife, she called the health line and told them what was happening, and they said, no, you go ahead and do that because she's definitely going to be taken straight away in. And they did. My pneumonia had progressed to the second lung, so I had both lungs full of pneumonia, and my oxygen was plummeting. So they quickly strapped me in, wheeled me upstairs to a room. And the next 2 days, I do not have any memory of. Apparently, I was awake because one of the nurses didn't think I was really sick and tried to make me go to the bathroom by myself, which was very difficult, but I have no recollection of this. I remember another nurse later telling me, I felt so bad for you, so I got you some water. And anyway, and my oxygen plummeted under 80. If anybody knows anything about oxygen, that's not good. And so we don't have an ICU here, so I got shipped off to another hospital. It could have been anywhere in our province. Luckily, it was just an hour away. But in order to do that and keep me alive, they had to intubate me, induce me into a coma, and paralyze me so I would not be moving on the way. And so they told my family it'll just be for a couple of days for the move. It ended up being for 3 weeks. So I was completely out for 3 weeks. I developed ARDS, acute respiratory distress. Most people don't survive it, to the point that when I did come out and I finally started getting back to health again, thank goodness, they put me in a COPD clinic because they don't have anything for ARDS survivors because there are not enough of us. And so thank goodness for COPD clinics, because they helped me rebuild the strength in my lungs. And but the really cool part about why this got me so excited about wanting to continue my passion of empowering our kids to take what they love and turn it into something for themselves, while I was in a coma, I was earning money on work that I had created years ago. You know, my courses were selling, my books were selling, my YouTube videos were providing income with their ad revenue. And I'm like, I have to share this. This is so important. To build something, and yes, you're working in the moment for no initial pay, but you're creating something that's going to create income passively, so that if the life throws you a lemon or a coma, then you still have something there to support you. Now, in my case, it wasn't tremendously a lot at the time, but it's just a numbers game. It was just building and building. And since then, I've been blessed in that I couldn't possibly go back to a normal job because, as you can hear, it's very hard for me to sit upright or to stand upright. Like I use poles when I'm walking, and I have my feet actually elevated right now because otherwise it's too hard on my pulmonary system. But it made me have to focus on following this passion and spending all of my time building my courses and building that YouTube channel to get as many families as possible to understand. And so, Christina, I'll just quickly share what passion I use as my example. Because I've got, as you know, I've got two different niches or two different businesses that I work in. So my main passion is empowering kids and teens and their families about money. But my secondary passion is cake decorating. So what I did was I used my cake decorating as my example business. And then I show the families and the teens and the kids how to take one cake, took me 20 minutes to make, about, $15 of ingredients, has earned me thousands of dollars in ad revenue on YouTube. So that's the kind of thing I want to teach. And thank you so much for asking, because it made me very, very dedicated to teaching that you need to follow your passion. You don't have to be out there doing something you hate. You might have to do it while you build something on the side, but get that going. But I know you have other questions, so I'll pass it back over to you. Thank you.
Well, thank you again for sharing that amazing story. And we're so glad that you're still here. I'm sure your family feels the same. God bless you all. But what I wanted to pull out of that, besides the fact of, we're going to get into the passive recurring income and we're going to get into that in just a minute. But what I resonated with, because I had a similar experience where I was in this life or death accident as well. And when and all the doctors told me that I was always going to be disabled and I would never be able to be like normal again. And I just knew in my spirit that that wasn't for me. I'm not here to live a mediocre life. Not that if you're disabled, you have to, but for me, I just knew that wasn't for me at the time. And even though now I could never go back to a 9-to-5 job where I had to answer to somebody else, and to other people, that sounds tragic. I'm like, that kept me focused on my purpose, my talents, and my gifts. And in those moments where I was building my own business, where people were like, yo, you got an eviction notice on your door, you better go get a job. It was like, I can't, it's not even an option. I have to keep going there. And so for me, it became this beautiful blessing, like it sounds like it was for you. Right? So I just really wanted to pull that out for anybody watching that feels like, I'm screwed, or I have this disability, or I have this accident, or I'm bankrupt, or what. Listen, that is a freaking blessing. I promise you, there is a reason that is happening for you, and you can turn that mess into a fortune, just like Amanda and I have done. So let's talk about give us, like, the cake decorating thing is awesome. Like, when you told me that story, I'm like, one cake, $20, 20 minutes of your time, and you're making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars off one cake. I was like, I got to interview this girl. So like, talk about, like, give some more examples just to kind of jog people's, get their creative juices flowing. What are some other ways that we can turn a passion or a talent into passive recurring income?
Well, another example for what you were just talking about, the disability and stuff. Over the past couple of years, I have been fighting to get disability claims as well because of my inability to work in a normal job while I'm building this up again. Because, you do have physical limitations that you have to learn how to work with. I always believe that I can heal anything, so I'm just giving myself time. But in the meantime, I thought, what a beautiful path to learn the processes and how difficult it is for people to get any help with disability. And
down here too. It's not just Canada. It's a joke. I paid into that system for like almost 20 years. I fought for years and finally said, I would give the finger, but I don't want to offend anybody. I was finally like, screw it. I'll go do it myself. I will go do it myself. Forget it. Keep my money. Fine. Like, I'll go make more. And I just stopped trying after a while. So don't, it's not a Canadian, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I just want to say really quick, these systems are falling away. And I used to get so freaking aggravated because I'm like, you're making it so hard on women and families. And then I was talking to Spirit about it, and Spirit's like, listen, this is a part of the plan. This is pushing these ladies. Those of you who are watching this video right now that might be feeling that same anger, I am telling you, it is pushing you towards your purpose. The real reason that you're on this planet, it is pushing you towards millions of dollars.
Yes.
Don't worry. It's coming. Stick with us. We're going to show you how. Okay, so talk about it, Amanda.
So I love the idea of using your own personal experiences to empower others, because everybody is an expert at something. We all think, oh, we're not an expert. We don't have our big PhDs. We don't have, we feel like we have to learn, and then we might potentially become an expert. But the truth of the matter is, if you have kicked a soccer ball, then you are the expert over somebody who has never kicked a soccer ball.
Yeah, right? It's just one step ahead of somebody else, right?
Exactly, and that's all you need, because then you don't focus on people who already know how to kick a soccer ball. They go to the next level. You focus on those who want to learn how to kick a soccer ball and not fall over. And you say, you know what? I found out that if I stand like this, I have better balance, and I kick like this, and I can roll it, and it goes straight, and I don't fall over, right? And the little tip is put the helmet on, and if you fall over, so what? No. So it's taking your own experiences. So with the disability, and it's a hard one, because it's an emotional, attacking one, right? You self-doubt every second, and especially if you're teaching children about money and you're looking for financial assistance, it's like you oh my gosh, the head spin that you do to yourself.
Oh my God, how much we have in common.
Yeah, I know. That's what
I know exactly what you mean. And I'm sure the women that are watching also have had those voices in your head, like, who do you think you are? And your life isn't perfect yet. And this happened and that happened. And how are you going to do this? So we just want you guys to know it's normal. Yes. It's a part of the game, and you can get over it, and we'll help you. Okay,
absolutely. So yeah, I'm going to push myself, not even for myself anymore. I don't care if I get the assistance, and I wouldn't qualify eventually anyway, because my purpose is to not qualify. But in the meantime, I thought I have to push, because what I learn can help so many other people, and that's why I'm pushing. So I'm not pushing for myself and my family any longer. We are finding ways. Like I said, the things are growing again. It's taken a lot to get things up and running. Especially when you first have to focus on breathing and learning how to speak and talk and eat and walk, and but it doesn't matter. You just go, and then you get to that situation where you're like, am I going to have to file for bankruptcy? Am I going to have to do a business proposal? How am I going to pay for the fact that not only was I in a coma, but my wife lost her job of 10 years, which was a blessing, because it meant I could leave the hospital earlier and she could take care of me. But it also meant going more and more into debt just to pay our rent and pay for groceries. And so, you go through all of this, and it's just like, I feel like I'm doing all of this so that I can be that voice for everybody out there, for you, right? So that we can help say, don't worry, this is not unnormal. Actually, it was really interesting when I looked into the business proposals or the bankruptcy to find out that bad money smarts is not the main cause. It's usually illness, divorce, or an accident that send people into bankruptcy or insolvency. It's not actually poor money choices. But the beautiful thing is, you take what you have, and now you build something on the side so that you're not dependent on someone else paying you for the rest of your life. Because even my daughter just recently was headhunted for a position because they loved her so much. And then she got the position. She was all excited. The scheduling didn't work. So she got a phone call, and they said, I'm really sorry, the scheduling's not working. But so, we don't actually want to have you here. We love you, but it's just not going to work. And I said, how beautiful is that? You've learned that even people who appreciate you may have to let you go at some stage. So why put all your trust in somebody else providing income for you? And that doesn't mean don't do it. It means build something on the side.
Right. So what are some other ways that women and their children can? So we got cake decorating, we got YouTube. Do you have anything else you could share in that vein? I know you got a free gift that's gonna, blow it up and really go deep. So just stay tuned with us a few more minutes, guys, and she's gonna give you this amazing free gift, and you're gonna be able to work this out. But just for now, what else can you give us?
I'll give you a couple of the ideas that are in the 50 money making ideas that they're gonna get.
Yeah.
For sure. So one of the things, a really good example for kids that parents pay attention, because think about what's happening here. The typical lemonade stand, okay? you're putting so you have your own business. This is a good thing. This is a good start. You have to sit at the table. You have to make sure you have the lemonade. You have to make sure you're on a corner that has traffic, right? Walking traffic with people who actually have coins on them, cash on them. And so you have to make sure it's the right place. So there's a lot of work involved, but it is pleasurable. It's fun. You're interacting. You get to drink lemonade. What's not fun about that? All right. And, but you can take it a step further. See, you have your lemonade stand, and then you think, that corner over there, that corner is pretty well trafficked too. Why don't I set up a second stand? But how could I be in two places at once? Well, why don't I hire on my little brother or sister or friend, provide an income for them, and we share the profits. I'll make sure all the advertising, all the traffic is sorted, all the cups and the lemonade, they don't have to do anything but show up, smile, give the drinks, take the money. And we'll share it 50-50. You're doing the work, I'm doing the preset. And then you think, that corner over there could use one. And you know what? I'm getting a little bit busy organizing all these. I think this friend over here could take over this one. And suddenly you step back and you've got 3 lemonade stands that you don't have to be there for. You just have to make sure that once a week you buy enough lemonade and cups for the stand, that you put out information in the newspapers or signs up on the telephone poles, you know, when we used to have telephone poles. And, you know, that's giving away my age again, isn't it? But you know what I mean? So you're taking that passion of loving to just be with people and have a beautiful drink, refreshment, nice conversation, creating an income, but then spacing it out and creating a more passive income where you're just managing now. So you actually have created more time freedom and more income, because instead of earning 100% of the one, you're now earning 50, 50, and 50. Suddenly you're earning 150% of what you used to earn with less work, right? So
less work. I love that.
That is what so that's one example that I love to share because it's so understandable, so relatable. And the same thing could happen with like cutting the grass, right? But the other thing is, so those are physical businesses. The thing I also love to teach is information, because information is so easy to put together. Like I said, you have that skill of kicking the soccer ball if somebody else doesn't but wants it. You could create a video just showing the steps of how that happens, and you set up your own YouTube channel. No, it takes a little bit of views, it takes a little bit of momentum before you get accepted into the ad revenue partnership. But you keep pushing, you keep posting good information, people start sharing, they start building your audience, and now suddenly Google starts putting ads on your videos. Every time you show somebody how to kick that soccer ball, they're super happy because they got to learn it for free. They don't care about the ads because they're used to seeing that on TV anyway. And the ad people are super happy because now soccer related ads are coming on. They're selling soccer balls, they're selling tickets to the games, right? Like it's, I love it. And so that's one way. And then I'll give you one more way, and then I'll let the rest come with the free gift later. And the last way is a written kind of course. So whether it's a course or a book online or a course that they go through that is a combination of written material and video material, which is like the best combination, because then you've got your audio and your visual, it's amazing. And then, so let me choose a different, let's go back to cooking, but let's go back to preparing meals. Let's say you're going to create a meal plan for the week for the busy person who just doesn't have the time to come up with the ideas. And you have a bunch of recipes that your family absolutely love, and it's well balanced. You've got enough for breakfast, lunch, and dinners for 7 days. So you've got a 7-day meal plan. You put that together in a PDF. So just using your Word document and putting it together in a PDF, pop a couple photos in, and then you sell that course either online, on your own website, or through there are platforms available out there where you can sell through as well. But so the idea is taking your knowledge, your skills, your passions, and creating something one time and getting paid for it recurringly over and over again with minimal management on top of it. And that is the key. That is the key to all of this. And as you can tell, I get very excited about sharing all of this.
Yeah, because kids are learning
tired.
about money. Kids are going from employee mindset to manager mindset. And ideally, they're going to move from manager mindset to entrepreneur, we have another expert later on in this series who's going to talk about that 4 stages from employee to manager to something. Stay tuned for that. But, they're growing up out of that, what I consider, no offense, to be kind of a slave mentality where somebody else is telling you how long you can take a break, how many times. Bosses used to tell me, you only get 1 bathroom break for every couple. I'm like, what? You're going to tell me I can't go to the bathroom? This is insane, right? So it's kind of, to me, a modern day form of slavery. So we want to help ourselves and our children grow up out and understand that they don't have to do that. If you're in a job that you freaking love and you don't mind and you negotiate with your boss, then you can be an employee and not be a slave. But if you're tuning into this series, you're probably sick of the 9-to-5 grind, right? So I hope I'm not offending anybody by sharing my truth here. But I hear 2 objections, in the back of my head. One we already covered, which is like, well, I have to have it all figured out, But the other one, we already talked about that. But the other one that I really want to hear your opinion on is, what would you say to a woman who's watching today who says, well, there's so many other cake decorators out there. There's so many other, meal prep people out there. My passions, there's like 20,000 women who are already doing that on YouTube. And so I shouldn't even just get started, right?
Exactly. And that is so normal to think, oh, well, why would they listen to me? Right. And that is a self-worth issue, because why wouldn't they listen to you?
Yeah.
And the key is to find what your particular niche is, what your particular angle is. A great example is if you look up Rosanna Pacino, sorry. She's adorable. People love watching her because she's just adorable. There are people like Yolanda Gap. They love watching her because she is tremendously talented and everything's so clean and organized. She decorates cakes with rulers, So everybody has their particular niche. Mine, what's really funny is that I always knew I would be doing this since I was tiny, because I would be cooking in the kitchen and I'd be talking to nobody, telling them, you put this much in here and you do this and you do that. I would take baths and I would be like, and this is how you wash your hair. I had no idea but I always felt I would be teaching by visually showing in some way. I probably watched way too many cooking shows as a kid. I don't know. But so don't stop yourself just because there are lots. You don't need lots. You just need a handful. And people, you need to be honest with your personality, because there is going to be somebody who resonates with you who may not even like cakes, but really like you and want to watch just because you connect with them. My YouTube channel is a combination of cake decorating and financial education. That's kind of weird. And for a long time, I've really been wondering, do I need to separate the channels? But then I felt torn because I don't want to take it away from my loyal subscribers. So it doesn't matter. Just be you. I was told that years ago, just be you. And I think I'm finally getting it.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too, on a deeper and deeper level. But I love that you said, so basically you're echoing what one of my former coaches said to me, which was, there's a specific tribe of people out there right now waiting for you. Yeah. And I actually had, when I first got started with my intuitive arts, I thought the same way. I was like, a specific tribe of people for me? I get that I was at that level of okay, I get that I have value. I get that people, I was at that level, but I was like, specific group of people. I don't know. But I just stayed open-minded. And I think that's a really important piece, right? Is to just keep open-minded instead of trying to figure everything out right this red hot minute. Just stay open-minded. And so on my very first show, I started getting emails from people and phone calls from people saying, where have you been? I feel like I've been waiting for you. They told me that Marianne Williamson and Wayne Dyer were basically doing and saying the same thing that I was saying, but there was something about my energy, my voice. So I swear, not everybody swears. I thought I had to hide that. The people who want to work with me, they freaking love that I'm just New York like that. They love me. So this is what we're saying to all of you watching, is that there's so many different singers out there, but
Yeah.
nobody is going to sing a song like you are.
Yeah.
And so if that's your thing, then the world is waiting for you specifically to stop trying to figure it all out, to stop beating yourself up about mistakes that you've made or the circumstances that you're in, and get your show on the road for you, for your children, and for your children's children's children.
Yes, and if you do that, you're actually going to weed out the ones who are not interested, which is good because you only want those who are interested in you. You know, who cares? And to be honest, one of the really cool things that I found, for example, on YouTube, because it's a very open platform, people will, you know, you'll get a handful of people who are not very nice, and they'll say something. You don't have to say a thing. The rest of your community steps up and goes, "Why are you talking to her like that?" And it's like, wow, who knew I had such a fan base? Like, it's just incredible. And so I left them. Now YouTube have changed their rules, and now they don't want those comments on there. But I'm like, it kind of was empowering. So
right. So tell us about your free gift.
Okay, so I put together a couple of gifts for your viewers here, because I wanted to give you not just a tasting, but I wanted to give something that you could actually use and make progress with, right? So when they go to the page that you're going to give them, which is a special page for you, you're going to actually get 7 free tools to help you with teaching your kids about money. But the first one that I want you to do is the quiz, which is just going to help you get an idea of where your child and yourself are with your wealth mentality. Like, where are you when it comes to thinking about money and talking about money? What kind of negative or positive imprints do you have? Because then you have a place to start from.
Right. And you just got to know.
Yeah.
You don't know where you are without any guilt, without any shame. Just find out where you are so we can help you get to where you want to be. Yeah.
Exactly. And it doesn't matter, but you need to know where you are, or else you don't know where you need to get to. Like, you try so hard to get up here, and then you're like, oh, I didn't realize I had to jump like that to get to there, right? So, yeah. And then the other big question, Christina, that I always get is, how do I get my kid excited to learn about money? Like, money's boring. And I'm like, well, clearly they've gotten the wrong message. But anyway, let me help you with that. And the best way to get kids excited and ourselves excited to actually learn about how to be a master of our money is to set goals that are realizable. So I have a worksheet, or actually a workbook for your families. Goal setting for families. Do it together as a family. It'll walk you through it step by step. So you get that, you get access to my goalometer, goal-o-meter, so you can see which goal is most important to you. Because if you go for a goal that's not that important, it's really easy to be like, oh, well, I'll do it tomorrow, right? It's got to be something really exciting, and to figure out what that is, I help you figure that out in there. So enjoy that. Then, of course, as parents, we're like, do we give our kids an allowance? Do we not? So I've got a book in there for you as well, Allowance Secrets, to give or not to give, so you can figure out what's going to work for your family, because there is no right answer. There is only a right answer for you and your family, but you need to have support knowing that, and that's why I put that book together for you. And then the one that we talked about before, the 50 money-making ideas for kids and teens. And, okay, there are actually more because, well, you know, abundance. There are a couple more in there. Let me just try to remember again. Memory is not the best quality at the moment. So we've got those ones. And then I've got 2 moving vision boards for the kids and teens as well, just to start helping them with the wealth mentality. And they get access to the cartoon, The 6 Magical Piggy Banks, so that you can start learning how to master your money and not be a slave to it anymore. And then a video for you parents as well, just to teach you the concepts behind it and some tips, you know, what kind of jars to use, things like that. So I hope you guys enjoy all of that. Use it, make progress, you know, connect with me, tell me how it's going. I can't wait to hear how much of a difference it makes, because I know it's made so much of a difference for me and my family. My kids are my guinea pigs. They know that. They love it.
They're okay with that. We got their signature on that.
Yeah, they actually have sub-channels on my channel.
Cool.
Yes.
Very cool.
It's amazing. And just, you know, everything that we do is what I teach. I teach both the good and the bad. So that's what you get from me. I hope you enjoy that.
Yeah, that's an amazing plethora of wealth. You've obviously mastered the skill of generosity.
Well, and don't feel overwhelmed. Yeah, don't feel overwhelmed. Literally just take one and do it at a time. You don't need to do it all at once. So don't feel overwhelmed. We wanted to have a full, a full toolbox for you.
Right. And all you have to do is just take the next step, which is to click the link on this page and just claim your free gift. You put in your name, you put in your email address, and then Amanda will deliver the gifts, and then you just take it one gift at a time, like Christmas every week, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'll get access to a free membership area where you can just watch the videos in there. You can download the PDFs, and that way you've always got access to it no matter where you are located.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're going to be in our Facebook community. Yeah. So if you want to talk to Amanda, you want to ask questions, our Facebook community, if you haven't joined already, definitely join. It's just, again, one step, click a button, join. I'll approve you, and then you can get in there and ask Amanda questions and continue the conversation there. Amanda, you're such a blessing to our show, a blessing to this world, a blessing to these families. And I'm just so grateful that you took advantage of this opportunity and spent this time with us today. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. Again, I love working with you. We connected on that first call, not even like an official call, but just our first call. And it's just like, when you've met a soul sister, and that's what you want.
Yeah. And so will all of you. So I'll see you guys in the Facebook community. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. And Amanda, I can't wait to see you in person soon. God bless you and your family. God bless all of you and all of your families. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow.